Hello, everyone. I hope you hear me. Let's make a check. Hi, guys. Welcome to our last workshop for this summer. So, hello, put some emojis or anything in the comments, or let's do as always. Let me know where are you from, how long and how much of experience you have with 3ds Max, and just, I don't know, anything you want to share, please, you're welcome. So, hi. Today we will be working with the absolutely small, tiny bathroom, no windows, nothing. I remember someone at previous or maybe even like couple of workshops ago, you've asked to do something without a window. So here we go. Here we have. So let's start. This is the final render. Of course, it's after post-production. But the main thing we will do absolutely same. As for the tiles, I know that you always ask me about textures. In this case, we don't need any HDRI. We will basically need only a couple of textures. So main one is the tiles, and I will share the one that I have and used with you. It was a Mutina collection, Mutina gray dots or something. It's called like dots. I can share it in a chat with you, so you'll be able to maybe use absolutely the same one if you want. So, hi. Okay, let's start then. As for the scene, probably it's the smallest, tiniest scene that we have ever done so far. Here you go. You can see it. Let's check if it has any of layers and stuff. Do we have? Yes, we do. So as you see, this is a guest toilet, nothing extra, super small, super tiny. So here it is. Okay, if our layers work, yes, they do. And what I want to mention and emphasize today, when you work with any of type of the bathrooms, when you have lots of tiles, I highly recommend you using them in different layers. Especially, you can do what? You can use different layers for different types, if it's a huge one, of course. In our scenario, it's only one same tile. So as you see, I have the absolutely extra layer only for the tiles. It will be super convenient for you to work with it, especially on texturing. So this is our scene. Let's check if we have anything in our render setup. No, let's reduce till 3K. It will be more than enough. As about the scene, I will set up a time limit. I don't have any of the maps. I use AI denoiser, amount 1, camera nothing, performance nothing. In system, in image filter, I use none as well, as because it's the test render, and to be honest, like majority of time I don't even use anything here. So this is it. As for render elements, I will add reflection right away, so I will not forget about it. So here it is. And this time I also want you to check the camera options, the camera setup, because what I see very, very often, that majority of people, when you have such like a small spaces, you use super low focal lengths, so you use like 18 and below. I am, how to say, I'm not a hater, of course, but I prefer not to go lower than 20. Like, try not to go lower than 20 in focal length if you can, because in other option, in other way, you will have this fisheye lens look, which they change your perspective a lot, so it's not true, like it's not that truly. So try to use something around like 24 at least, if it's possible, of course. Okay, what do we have here? Of course we will have a clipping, so be careful. Here is our clipping. I still need a door because we have a mirror, as you see. What about lights? We have no lights yet. We have actually nothing else. So as for the materials and shaders, what do we have? We have only one Corona gray, just standard physical material. Okay, how can we start from what we will start? As you see, let me open our final, the reference in our scenario. We don't have any of the windows here. So how should you work with absolutely artificial lighting? I will give you like maybe a life hack or a tip, call it as you want. How I usually start working with artificial lighting. I never start with the decorative lightings. If I have anything like this, I always choose the main source of our lights. In our scenario, we have obviously some of the top ceiling lighting and the backlight like LED for the mirror. So guys, in this case, I will never start with the mirror. I will always start with the main source. In this case, it's our top spots, and I have them too because I see the pretty obvious and very I would say direct and narrow lighting. So let's do that. What do we have? I need to create a new light. It can be disc, it can be a rectangle, actually, it doesn't matter. The only difference between them, if you will see your geometry of your lamps in the mirror or on your render, then you need to follow the shape. But if, as I do, I don't care what's going on up there, I will just go with the disc, for example. Let's go with the disk. Right one, first one, and I call them, how will I call them? Main. Let it be main spot, or let's name them spot. Okay. What we have. What we have next. Usually, of course, we should have a RPC plan, like something with the lighting dimensions and anything. But if you don't have anything, you can just use your imagination, experience, and eyes. As for now, for example, I'll just center it somewhere here and approximately at the center of the basin, but not right at the basin because nope, I don't need that. Okay, then let's check the side view. Let's bring it up. Mistake that pretty lots of beginners have. Sometimes you forget uh, to check the heights of your lamps. So you simply create them in a top view. Then you go to your modify, set, and list, adjust it. Then you increase intensity, increase, but nothing going on. What should you check? You should check a side view or maybe perspective if it's more convenient to you, because most of the times, like more than 50% of the time, your lights is still on the floor, so it's impossible to see them, or they're outside of your geometry, or they're inside of your interior ceiling, because as we know, we might have different levels of interior ceilings. So perhaps your light source inside of the geometry. So double check that. I usually do that from the side view. Yeah, it can be like this. 250, okay, 2800s will be more than enough. So here it is. And I have two of them, so I'll just copy them and place another one somewhere here, probably with instance. Why with instance? Because they depend on each other. I need them to be matching anyway. As what about the settings? Intensity I will leave as is. As for worms, I will switch to Kelvin and probably will start with 5000. So it will be still natural, but warm natural, not cold, because we don't need cold lights. Disk, yes, okay. I can fix and adjust the size if I want, but not really. About the size, guys, remember this thing. The smaller the light source, the more intensity you need to input. Otherwise, it will be super, super weak. This is one. And second, the sharper your shadows will be. So the smaller the light source, the sharper and like more obvious your shadows from this source, and vice versa. If you have like, oh, I don't know the name of it. I call it like natural light ceiling. You know, when you have lots of LED strips under the glass, and you have this effect of the natural light coming through. It's majority of them used specifically in bathrooms. In that scenario, if you will have like a one big rectangle, you will need to lower your intensity and your shadows will not be that sharp. So you should keep that in mind as well. As for directional, I usually start with something like 3 to 4, like 0.3, 0.4, and we will see. Let's start with like 3. About the visibility, I don't need to see them. I don't want them in refraction. I don't need caustic. I don't need to occur, and I don't need IES. But I will use reflections because, again, it's not a secret. Almost never I turn off this tick. Like I always have this tick on because reflections works different with this, and that's important. Okay, so basically we have two light sources we can start. Let's start and let's see what we have. We have something, but not much. What I can do, I will use my interactive render. I will use my material editor, and I definitely need to increase the intensity. When I tell you increase the intensity, what I mean, I don't mean that you go from 50 to 55 or to 60. No, when I tell you increase your intensity, you go from 50 to 500s, and then bam, you will see the result. You will see something's going on in here, and now you know you need it more or even less. So, for example, let's leave 500s. But what's different? I want you to be very attentive and pay attention to shadows, specifically shadows, and especially when you work with artificial lighting. As you see, my spots, I have some of the lighting spots on the walls, on the floor. How do I understand? It's not even like my floor not lighting up evenly. I see patch here and patch here. What that means? That means that my spots, my light sources, they need to be more direct. They need to be more narrow. So it will work more as a projector at the stadium, you know? So what I will do, I will increase my directionality better. As you can see, it became brighter, like my overall mood became lighter, but I didn't change intensity and I didn't change the my base material. Why this happening? Because your sources becomes more direct. If it becomes more direct, you see more of the light on the floor, like at the bottom of your space and image, rather than at the ceiling, which we don't even see in our scenario. Okay, good, better, but still not what I want. Let's do 5. 5 can work, might work, but still I would say not what I need. Maybe go with 6. Too much. Okay, so now we know that I'm supposed to be somewhere in between 5 and 6. Okay, let's do 5, and leave it as is for now. Main source we have. What I can do next? Next, I can change my clay material, the one that I used on everything. So first thing I will do, I will check how glossy my tile is supposed to be. Is it super glossy or is matte? And I would say that we are somewhere in between. We're like sateen or something, like polished, but not absolutely matte and definitely not absolutely glossy. Okay. We can go with mm, 0.4, maybe 0. Wait, maybe 35. Let's do 35. Okay, now what I can do, I can control the value. If I will increase the value, my image will get lighter, of course, it will. Um, maybe. And also I want it to be a little bit more yellowish because I need worms in my image. So, okay, can be. Perhaps a little bit darker. Nah, let's leave. Let's leave this. Okay, what do we have now? We close, pretty close. What's happening with this one? Is it? Is it? Yeah, it is. Good. What can we do next? Next, I will go back to my final and check if my shadows match, if my direction match, because I see the line here and line there. So what my guess would be? My guess is I need perhaps to rotate my spot a little bit. How can I do that? I will activate target. I'll go to the side view. And first thing that I do, let me change to lights. And I need to click only on target, target 1 and target 2. And I'll just bring them down to 0. Okay, then what I'll do, I want to give a direction. I have a direction as a narrow light, but now I want to give the vector, the direction when I want my spot to be. So probably I need to shift it right here. And now I have this line that I was looking for. What is this? What basically what I've done? If you rotate and use target, for example, for your spot, and you change the target around, you will have this rotation of your light. And of course, depending on your camera angle, on your space geometry, the light will change. So in this scenario, you just use the target and just drag it around the space. So you see what's the most good for you, like what suits the most. And same story about this one. I probably need to do it somewhere here. Let's check. So I have a spot in this corner and spot in this corner. Okay, well, pretty close. What I would do, perhaps I will increase the direction a little bit. Not 6, but 575, for example. Okay, agree. I agree. What else we can do? Now we can proceed and go back to our mirror. So let me stop my render. Let me isolate my mirror. This is it. And I need to create a rectangle. I just need to short rectangle here and it goes up. So in a side view, front or left, whatever, you just need to make sure that your source is hidden behind the mirror, but it's not inside of it. And for the direction, I don't think we will need that much. So let's try with the 0 so far. Okay, and let me rename it. Rename it, it will be lat mirror. How do you work with the hue and saturation with numbers so precisely? I don't use, if you mean that I use only numbers, that's only my thing in terms of Okay, maybe I'm a weird one, but I don't like uneven numbers. So that's why I usually go like 175, 180, 185. It's not a rule, it's not a must. It's my brain thing. I don't know why I do that honestly. But usually firstly I just switch it to the left, to the right, then I see the number and I use the nearest even number. Like I call them beautiful numbers. That's that's why. But in general, what I use, first thing that I use is always value because it gives you the overall contrast. So it shows you the image will be dark, moody, and pretty contrast, or vice versa. It will be like bright and even. Then I go with saturation because so far, if your saturation will be like 0 or something, you will not see anything. So you can go to 100, for example. Then you proceed with the hue. Hue basically gives you the color. When you go left, you go more to the red parts. When you go right, you go more to the yellow parts. So hue depends on your lighting worms. So if you will use like Kelvin 3500s, for example, you will need less of the saturation and in your material. They are connected. But usually first value, then saturation to see the difference, and third is a hue. And after you determine what type of hue you want to have, like what type of tone color you want to have, you go back to saturation and boom, everything is already beautiful and almost ready. Okay, what else? How do you enable the composition lines on camera? You mean the okay, L no, LB will not work now. Hotkeys are Alt plus B, as I remember. Now I use another program, so it will turn off my software, so I will not use it. But if they doesn't work, you go to configure viewports. You can hit a plus here. You go to configure viewport. You go to save frames. You need to unlock them firstly, then you need to activate it in here. Action save, title save, user save. As for the numbers, if you want to have exactly same as mine, what I use 3 parts. So I have evenly divided 3 parts of my image, and I have the rose one, the pink one is the save frame. So I try to position everything main inside of that frame. That's like the composition hint for you. If you want the exactly same scenario as I do use now, you can go with the same number. So 0, 66, and vice versa, diagonal 66, 0. As for the save frame, for the rose one, it's 30%. So it will be 30% out of the outline. And then you hit apply and OK. But it will work only when you work with the save frames. Save frames is Shift F. So as you see, when you work just in perspective or in any other view, you will not be able to see them. That works only when you use the save frames in camera. Okay, good. No more questions so far. Let's proceed then. So what do we have? What do we have? We've used another lighting source and boom, it looks like heaven, but we don't need it. We definitely need to reduce it. Let's go back to 50. Okay, something more like, perhaps I will use direction, but okay, let's start with 0.3 and reduce 50 to 30 and maybe even less, 20. Can be. Can be 20. Okay, already cool. Already cool, not flat, very interesting, and not so typical, I would say. Great. What can we do next? Next, we can go with the general feeling stage. But as you see, our general feeling stage today, I don't think it will differ that much because we use the absolute same material on all of the walls. The basin is just without tiles, if I'm correct. Okay, let's do so. Let's do that. First thing that I will do, I will copy my base material and I'll create a mirror. That's the first thing that I will do. Isolate my mirror. Okay. Then we need to switch to metal, roughness 0, and absolutely light and white. If you will ever want to have bronze mirror, tinted mirror, graphite mirror, any tint or colored mirror, what do you need to do? You just need to replace the color in your albedo, like base layer. That's the only thing that you need to do. Okay, good. And we can actually render right away. Okay. What can we do next? Next, our toilet supposed to be white. Okay, fine. So let's copy ceramic. If our ceramics is glossy, I will still use some of the roughness, some tiny one, like 0.05 or maybe less. And let's make it lighter. Not that light probably, and less saturated. Okay, can. Then we can do what? We can change the Basin. Let's call it Basin. I'll just copy the same one from the toilet one, and but it should be not that light because we want our basin to merge with the tiles. That's why I will lower my base color. As for rest, probably same, maybe increase the roughness, but we will see how will it work. Okay, what else we have here? We have taps and siphon and the towel hanger. So let's choose them. I will use the mirror as a base one, and let's call them taps. Change, and we have something like polished brass or something like that, and the gunmetal. If I want to use a gunmetal, I will need to lower the base color. What is a gunmetal? Gunmetal basically it's something like chrome, aluminium, but darker, but still polished and like nice. Something like this, maybe lighter. 150. Let's try 150. Something like this. What I will use right away, perhaps I will use, okay, let's get back to that later. Fine. Okay, now let's go back to our tiles. Let me select all of my tiles. Yep, double click on the layer, you will select everything. And I will copy my base material that I've applied on everything, rename it on tile. It will be my tile. And what I want. Now you need to be careful because we have 3 of ingredients in the end that gives us final. One is the color, the temperature of your light. Second, the color of your tiles material. And third, the tone mapping, which I still didn't change. So I will go with the tone mapping so far by now. What I will do I need to make my image lighter? I can, but slightly. I think 0.3 will be more than enough, maybe even less. I definitely want to make it more contrast, maybe 2 to 3. Let's do 2.5. Saturation, definitely lower. I need it to be less saturated. Can be, maybe less. OT, I will lower, so it will not be that strong, like to make it softer. And what I'm missing my vignette. I need a pretty strong vignette in here. Maybe I should go with the 0 actually. Yeah, I will not use the exposure. Don't want. Okay, we're good. As for the bloom and glare, I don't see, like, if you ask me, I'm not a fan of bloom and glare. Like these glare effects on these spots, I'm not a fan of that, especially when people use it on like tabs or something like that. Sometimes we use it. When do I use it? When I see my spots. If if here I would see the spots on the ceiling, I would use the bloomer glare. But in this case, nah, I'll just skip it. Okay, then back to our tiles. What I want to have. Maybe I will need to lower it. Mm-hmm. Something like this. And now let's talk about the hue. What will change if I will change the hue? So look, I will give you example on the numbers, but you can do same just with the shifting it to the left and to the right. If I go to the left and I use something more reddish, I will have this pink undertone, like the red undertone of my on my image. Why do I have it? Though I control only one material. Because guys, we have this material basically gives you the main mood and color and contrast for entire image. We don't have much of materials, as you see. We have tiles, we have mirror, we have taps, we have towel and ceramics for basin and toilet. 5 materials in entire scene, but only one control the general mood, and this is exactly the tiles. So as you see, if you go very reddish, you will have a red mood of your render. If you go to the right, you will have like yellowish to greenish mood. Here you need to be careful. Of course, all of the screens are different. It depends on your screen, on your phone, on your client's phone and screen. That's like you cannot guess in that, but you need to keep in mind. So if you use something more warm as your main source, then you need more of the cold undertone in your main material, and vice versa. Now we used natural lighting, so I can go a little bit warmer with my undertone, but still I wouldn't go too much to the red side. Okay, what I want to do right away, I can use the Corona multimap. Let's do the Corona multimap. For what, you will ask me, because I don't have textures yet, or I don't do textures yet. I prefer doing this right away so I don't forget about it later. Why I need multimap? One, mesh, and same color. I use the same color. I use it in a base, but usually I just change the gamma. So I would have some of the randomization on my tiles. So one of a tile will be slightly lighter, another one will be slightly darker. As long as I don't have the floor generator anymore, this is editable poly, so I cannot change the floor generator. I would do this. But if I still have a floor generator, I would use a tiny tilt of the boards. So the smaller the boards, like the smaller the tiles you will have. Let me show you why I'm talking. I can just show you that. Wait. If you have, okay, let's do rectangle, and let's actually save. I forgot to save. Will you save, Mister? Okay. Ba-ba-bum. Here it is. Let's do the version 1. Okay, now we're safe. So back to the floor generator. When you have mosaic or small tiles, what I would recommend you, for example, it will be like 300 and 150, something like this. I want to have these uneven reflections. I don't like when everything like super flat and super similar. Our walls, our corners in reality cannot be that perfect. So we try to imitate it in 3ds Max. What I do to achieve more interesting reflections. In Floor Generator, you have the variation per board block. In this block, I use max tilt. I will exaggerate right now. So if I use, come on, too big. Let's make it smaller. Let's do 100 and 100. So you see what's the difference. So basically, what this thing does, it randomly, this is better. It randomly rotates your boards. So you can imitate lots of things. But if I want to have these nice tiles, new, freshly renovated apartment with the fresh tiles, of course, I will not use this strong of a tilt. I will use something lower than one. What will be changed? Like, what will it give it? Geometry will still look same. It will still look proper. It will still look even and correct. But your material will provide you a better, more interesting reflections due to this tilt, random, tiniest tilt. It will give you the most interesting reflections ever. Promise you. Try it. So even when you have like this tile's pretty big one, but if you have anything lower than 600 millimeters, like 60 centimeters less, go with that. You will see a difference. Maybe for the client, it will not be super obvious and they will not note it, but you will know. You will know. Okay, so back to our tiles. As you see now, as I've added my Corona multimap with this gamma, I have some slightly difference. What also can be possible? Right now, in this scenario, in this case, everything works good for me. But let's imagine that you need to make your spots lighter. So you start having the overexposed areas on your floor. Why this happening? Because your spot is too direct. It's very narrow, like a flashlight or a lighter flashlight. And where it goes, it goes straight to your floor. What you can do in this case, you can create a copy of your material and apply it only on your floor. You can make it less reflective, you can lower IR, and you can lower your base color. So the general material will still remain the same, but the thing that you've made a copy will not give you that overexposed patches on your floor. That's also like a side hint that might happen to you when you use a very direct light. Okay, cool. What we forgot about? We forgot about our towel. Not a main thing, but still. So let's copy the material and it will be towel. Apply it. I don't need any roughness, lower my IOR because it's a fabric. What I can also do, I can use sheen right away. Let's do that so we don't forget my sheen because it's a fabric. Okay, can be like this. And as for the door, I wouldn't change it so far. We have the clay material, the base material applied there, so it will look same. You will not see anything there because we have no spotlight on the door, so I think it's useless to change the different material on that. Okay, great. We're done with our general feeling. I would say we're 70% done actually already. Probably this will be the fastest workshop in your life, maybe. But we'll have more time for questions then. Okay, what can we do next? Let me save again. And let's proceed to our materials and texturing. I've sent you, did I send you? Did I? I've sent you the link on these specific tiles, but you can, of course, try any other tile. The main thing that you need to do, you need only one tile, the texture, and you need to make it black and white for the reflections and for the bump, if you want to have a bump. Fine. Let me delete this ones and let's start texturing. Mirror I will not change. I will start right away with my main material. And our main material is our tile. So we go back to my Corona multimap and we use a batch load. I will use only one texture. I have the beige one and the gray one for the bump and displacement if I will need this displacement. So let's do the first one. Ooh, super dark. Okay, what we need to change? We need to use color correction. So right click, change material type, color correction. And I want to make it lighter, way lighter, and maybe less saturated and more yellowish. So how does hue shift works in corona correction? Not corona, in color correction, any color correction. What will change? Look, I will increase saturation so you will see the difference. Then if you go minus to the left, again, same story. You go to the right, red, reddish color and undertone. If you go plus to the right, you go to yellow and then greenish undertone. So here you need to be careful, but if you see that the general mood and color changed, you can use shift hue right here. Okay, so let me back desaturate it. Okay, good. Now we have this uneven. Maybe my gamma was too much actually. Let me reduce the gamma. I don't want, I still need the more of homogeneous like look. So perhaps it was a lot. So let me just reduce it slightly. Okay. And then I will do what? I will lower my base color as well. What about reflections? Here you need to take a look at the tiles because tiles can be very different. It can be super glossy and reflective. It can be pretty matte and gives you almost no reflections. In that scenario, you just stick to your reference image. So we can add some of the map on the reflection. Let's do that because we have maps. So why don't we use them? Where is it? Here it is. 1 and 2 right away. What do we have? We have this dirt map. We will use it on our, roughness. Okay. I don't need this. Let's go take a look our reflections and what we see. What do we see? We see that this map is a very contrast. As you see, it's what I mean by very contrast and why we have these results. Because there is a very big difference between the super white, like the lightest part, and the darkest part. The more contrasted the map, the more obvious the result you will have. What you can do, if you don't need this, and you definitely don't need this, you can do what? You can go to your maps and simply lower it till that result that you might like everything. Mm-hmm. Can be. Can be. Okay. And lastly, we can do what? We can copy our multi-map corona. We will add a different texture, the gray one, and we will use it as a base bump. But lower your bump right away. And let me remind you that the final result of your bump, of your displacement, you will only see on a decent final render. So first thing, interactive render, it's only like a blindfold method. But again, according to the experience and the amount of tiles that we've used, bump one is a very, very rare thing. So don't over bump because it will be super obvious and will not look good. Fine, good. I agree with this. We can do what next? Next, we can go and proceed with our basin or with the toilet. It doesn't matter actually. Let's do the basin because we can use the same material. Here, everything will be super easy. We will use the same reflection map, also for roughness. Also, will definitely lower it, but in this scenario, not that much. Let's do the 30 maybe. So we see some of the patches. Do we see? Let's check. Yes, we do. Let me see it on the basin. Okay. I just want to check the scale. Maybe we need to scale it up or down, but actually it's good as it is. Fine. What I would also do, I would copy it to my base color without any composite. I don't need any composite in this scenario. Let's make it way easier and faster because such interiors you should do pretty fast, but they still gotta be pretty catchy. By catchy, I mean interesting to watch. Okay, 5, even less. Mm-hmm. Maybe even less. 3. And less of the reflections. 20. Okay. And don't over dirt because when you have super obvious patches on your like ceramics or something, that's also very odd. Like, why not you cleaning the facilities? Okay, agree. What next? Next, I would work with the very basic one but neglected, the toilet ceramics. What I usually do to achieve this more realistic look, I use bump, bump, noise, general noise. Where is it? On my bump. So far, I will leave it as 1 because I want to see how does it work. And why do I use bump? For uneven reflections. Like if you will take a look in real life, you will never see absolutely like even reflections. They will be more or less distorted. That's how you can achieve that result with a bump. Okay, let me see. Do I see it? I will lower the size till 5 maybe. And let's check what does it do. Don't make your bump super small. Let's do 30 maybe. So you will still need to see your reflections. But they will be, you see, they will be distorted. After that you adjusted the size, in my case it's 30. What I do next? Next, I go and lower my bump till the tiny amount. Like I think 0.1 will be still a lot for the final render. For interactive, that might be okay, but you will still need to lower it. So just do that. And this will give you the most realistic ceramics in your life because you will have this uneven reflections. If you want, you can of course copy it on the roughness, decrease the roughness, but honestly, it's not necessary. Like you can skip it because the such things as basins, toilets, and stuff in bathroom, they usually pretty reflected and no like super extra spots. Of course, if it's clean one, but still, you want to do clean interior, not the dirty old look. Okay, agree. What can we do next? Next, actually, it might be a lot. It might be a lot, but so guys, you will need to render your normal, like final render, and to check if these spots will be a lot because here they seem okay, but in reflections, that might be too much. So, in that case, if that's too much, you will just need to lower the intensity of your reflection maps on your tiles. Okay, what have left? We have our metal, the brushed metal. Okay, let's pick it up. And what do we have here? Everything already good, but what I want to do? Today I want to use some of the not new, but sometimes people forget about it. The thing that calls anisotropy. When your reflection distorts actually on the metallic. It's specifically for metal things. So here it is. Here it is. What I will do, I will increase it. What you will see that your reflections kind of stretched out. Then what you can do, you can change the direction of it, rotation. 45, 90, whatever. For the general like main look, it will not give you much of the difference, but in case you will have a bonus close up or something like that, this thing will also elevate your metallic materials as well, but don't go too much. Like you need to be careful with everything. So after this, what I have my brushed metal. Any lines actually would be fine. You need a texture with lines, something like this. From any model of the vanity, you can have it. They're same. Majority of the times they use absolutely same texture. And use it on your roughness. Here also, please be careful. Don't use it on 100%. If it's super contrast, I probably will not see the difference now, but in some cases, this texture is very contrasted, like the black and white is very strong difference. So what it will give you? It will give you a dirty look of your metal. Check your reference, keep in mind how strong you want your brushed metal to be brushed. If it's very obvious, you can also copy and use composite for base color as well. If it's simple, very, I would say, calm, even brushed metal, then reflection roughness will be more than enough. As for you, okay, it's done here. I would maybe also try making this button metallic. But let's create another material for it. Let's check. I want to show you the difference what anisotropy can do. So let's go back to 0. Um, Not the best example, but still an example. Better than nothing. So let's imagine that these buttons also metallic. This is a simple metal, maybe even less, 0.2, 25, without anisotropy. And this is 1 as in amount. What will change? It will change the way it reflects. It depends on your lighting. It depends on the camera angle. You need to experiment with this. But keep in mind that sometimes that will give a pretty big actually difference for your metals on renders, especially for bonus one, especially for round, not flat, like round things. If you will have a sphere or if you will have a like curvy tap or something, that might change the game for you as well. Okay, let's leave it as metal then, if we're experimenting. What have left? The towel. Our towel would be the last thing. Where is it? Let's pick it up. And about decoration, maybe some of you will ask me, why you have no decorations? Well, I will tell you first, because I'm not a fan of decorations, if being honest. Not in reality, same. I prefer to have a simple, clean desk, but if your client wants some decoration, that doesn't mean that you have to put all of the possible vases, flowers, I don't know, soaps, and etc. on the shelf or next to the tap. No, you need to stick to your design. If you see that this is the majority, the image is a minimalistic, some tiny soap bar or maybe a metallic soap dispenser or some smelly, you know, these sticks, the diffuser, smelly thing in here that you will see only in reflection will be more than enough. So don't go too much with your decorations as well, please, because also pretty often I see lots of like nice designs but ruined with over decorations or decorations that doesn't match the style. So be careful with that. Lastly, for the towel, what we have such texture, only one texture. We don't have any colored one, nothing else. I will use it as for what? Let's start with the base color. I just want to check how big or small it will be. Mm, can work out actually. Pretty. Okay, then bump and displacement. As for the base color, I don't know. I can actually lower it. Let's see what we'll have. Maybe slightly. And for the displace, what I want to show you with the displacement, that if I work with the displacement, I prefer doing that with the Corona displacement modifier. It's here. What will change? Like if you have no displacement as a modifier, you need to set it up right here in your material. If you use Corona displacement mod and you activate displacement map get from material, you have control of your displacement here. So what it says, minimal level, I usually go down like below the zero with minus. And maximum layer level, you can start with 1 or 2 millimeter, then you need to do bunch of small tests, and then you will have your final desirable result. What is also pretty convenient with your with this displacement mod, that you can use different maps. You can use one displacement map in your material and absolutely another displacement map as here. For example, what can it be? Your main displacement in material might be the fluff, like the tiny texture of your map. And for the Corona displacement mod, you can use anything with the bigger folds, for example. That's what comes to my mind right away. Okay, so let me save. Let's wait a little bit. And basically, we're done, actually. That was very fast. Maybe I would even lower my exposure, actually. and desaturate it a little bit more like this. Okay, maybe that's a lot. Mm-hmm. Can be. And save it. Save, save, save. Okay, guys, it's a time. If you have questions, go ahead and message me because I will now I'll talk about the upcoming course because as you know, or if you don't know, I'm telling you that this is the last workshop before our course starts. It starts in less than a week on September 1st. Can you make it clear a little on VC matte ceramics? What do you mean? You mean you want to see the material once more? Let's do that. What do we have here? We have here the base color, roughness not 0. Roughness is 0.05. You can vary from 0.1 till smaller amount. And we have added noise for the bump, but we lower the amount of bump. So we will have these uneven reflections on our ceramics. How big or small this uneven noise you control with the noise size right here. So the smaller the size, the smaller details you will have, but you need to check more of photos in real life because usually it's something in the middle, like it's not super big but it's not super small as well. So I would say like 20 to 30 would be the best fit as for this scenario. So what I want, back to the topic, back to the main topic. uh, as you see, such things can be created pretty fast, still pretty good, have a decent quality, and be still interesting for the viewer and for your customer. What can we do? Basically, a little bit of a talks. And guys, again, remind you, while I do all of the talking, you please give me the questions so I will get back to your chat and will read all of your questions. So everything you've seen and way more, we will consider and check and do and practice on our course, which starts very, very soon on September 1st. If I'm right, it's the next Monday. So it's almost no time for that. If you want to learn more of 3ds Max, if you have more of the questions, I don't know, consider the modeling or the composition, please, you're more than welcome. Right now, I will show you a couple of the feedbacks for our clients, the cases and reviews. You can check more of them on our web source or if you contact us as well. But now I'll still show you a little bit. This is some of the feedbacks and the renders of the people who've been on our previous courses, and they created these images in 4 weeks. Because what you will have when you attend our beginners one, that doesn't mean like you might have some of experience. You didn't tell me much actually today about the experience, so let me know again where you're from and your experience, and maybe how did you start your CJ way, and how did you come into the CJ world. But at the course, some people come with some of experience, some been working couple of months, couple of years, some never opened 3ds Max before. Everything we present you and everything you will be taught, it's from the very, very beginning. So what I mean by the very beginning, from the creating of the space, from the modeling, from the modifiers, how to choose a model, where to choose a model, how to work with them, till the lastly, the post-production and AI usage. We consider that all in our program. As you see, we have a stage, we have a system. The system been working for years, ages, probably I would call them ages, and a lot of nerves. Uh, Pretty similar to our workshop, because on our workshops we show you the system that we follow for years. Main one is space creating, which means you basically model and set up your scene. Then you go to composition and lighting, where you choose your own angles, you learn how to work with the cameras, how to set up a camera, what focal is, how to do the depth of field or something, how to do something blurred out or no. Then you work with the color composition, with the lighting composition, because um, maybe I will tell you something new to someone of you, but even when I work with the one interior, I usually have a different setup of the lighting per each camera, because each camera angle may open up in a better way with a different lighting scenario. So forget about this. I have one room and 50 renders with the same sun position. It doesn't work like that. Composition works different, lighting works different in that scenario. So we will talk about that on the course more and more precisely in more details. And lastly, we have the output. We have materials, texturing, how to choose, where to choose, how to set up yourself, how to use the library version of it, how to do the post-production in frame buffer, also in Photoshop, also with partly AI. So as you see, now you can see a little bit of the interface of your personal cabinet, but you can check more of that on the website in the link in the what you will get. You will also have a pre-recorded lessons. That means that you will have a have a lot of recorded videos with specific, like for example, how to work only with sweep, how to work only with the camera, what each thing in the camera means, and what to do with it. And on live session that we will have 3 times a week, we have a live sessions. You come and just bump me with lots of questions or jokes or questions, or you just say and tell me how 3ds Max being moody this week or nope. So the course lasts 4 weeks of the live sessions, 3 times a week, and then you have more than a week of the deadlines. So for example, if you start on September 1st this time, last online session will take place on 26th of September, and your final deadline will be October 6th. What I mean by a deadline, we try to follow the schedule and workflow of a real project. So you will have your homework, you will have the review of your homework, the corrections, and you will have a deadline. And if you fit the deadline, you graduate, you're good, you're cool, you have your diploma. If you don't fit in the deadline, well, you have a nagging from me then. But usually everyone fits. So no worries, we give you more than enough time. And what's more important, you will have access to your web cabinet, and we try to stick up to date with all of the software. So for example, if we will switch to another software, like for now we work on 3ds Max 26. And by the way, guys, I know we've had some of the questions about the scenes that you cannot, or you have struggles with the scene that we provide, which you can download also from the chat link. Remember, listen to me carefully. I work with 3ds Max 26 and Corona 13. If you have lower version of your Corona, lower than 12 update 2, guys, not hotfix, 12 update 2, if you have a lower version of your Corona, you will not be able to open the scene. You will need to upgrade your Corona. Okay? Remember that. And of course, I cannot provide you any lower version of 3ds Max than 2023. So the scene that we provide you, they are 2023 3ds Max as well. So please don't be out of date. Stay with the lag with the updates. and follow us. Okay, a little bit more about the support. What do you have? We have a support. Except the fact that you have all of that cool perks and videos on your personal account on your website, you also have a Discord chat. We work with the Discord. I know some of you already familiar with that. What's happening in the Discord? Lots of course, you will have like some chat rules. It's about the navigation, what hashtag to do, what to use for what. Mainly, it's used for homework, for off topic, for about what about off topic? Off topic is if you have a question that it's not connected to the homework of a class, or if it's what? If it's not connected with the technical issues, because main channel will be for homework with the reviews and questions. Another channel will be for technical issues. That means your 3ds Max just suddenly decided to quit the chat, quit your PC, and everything is broken and nothing works. And you just message and send the screenshot like, what's going on? And we explain you, if we know, of course. We know, majority of times we know, but technical issues, and the off topic where you can give all of the questions from the workflow with the clients, with all of the, I don't know, web sources and stuff, or I don't know, daily jokes you can also send there. Also, you'll have a lot of helpful information, the PFC configurations, and bunch of other perks. And considering that the difference in time zones that we will have, we still try to give you questions ASAP, so like as soon as possible. So don't worry, guys, you will be not left alone. You will not be sitting looking at your 3ds Max and asking why and what should I do next. Okay, now briefly about the packages. We have three different packages: the minimal, the progressive, and maximal. What's the difference with them? Again, via link in the chat, you can go follow and read them in uh, super detailed info about them. For now, minimal doesn't have the support, but it still has the access to all of the recorded lessons and the online sessions. Progressive one, same thing, but with the support and daily review of your homework. And maximal, if it's not enough for you, you want more questions, you have more questions, or you have more time, you can go with the maximal, of course. That's the regular price. But this is the last workshop, so we are almost packed for the Monday. And as I know, we have a couple of places still. There is a special offer for you if after right now or till today, the end of the day, you will apply for the course. Our Anthony, he will reach you and give you all of the questions, all of the detailed information, and maybe discuss the concerns that you might have considering the course. You can go and talk to him. He'll reach you and explain everything in details, because as you see, I'm a master of 3ds Max, but not the other stuff. Okay, so yes, if you apply right now or by the end of today, you will have a special offer that Anthony will tell you. What about the sports? Sports are different and limited. Why? Because I've already told you we have a support and we try to keep a very high quality of it. And also, I do record you a daily review of your homework, except the weekends. I also have some of the weekends, some, and you too. What does it mean? That means that I give you task, you go do that at home whenever you want to do that. Then you upload your progress on the website, and I record you a video with a commenting if you're good, if you're very good, or if you need a little bit of nagging. That's what I do, and that's why we can't have like 50, 100 people in a group. So don't hesitate this time. Okay, so in the chat, you can see links that will give you that will redirect you to the landing to the website, where you can read all of the detailed information, and you can ask questions if you reach Anthony. That's basically what you can do. What about the guarantees? We, of course, we operate legally, and if you have opportunity, you can also pay the course with your company if you have it. But mostly important that we guarantee if the course doesn't meet your expectations in first week of the educational system, you can guarantee got your money back. So that never happened before, of course, but still I need to tell that to you, so maybe you have some doubts or concerns. So guys, imagine that you can finally save your time, save your nerves, save your future gray hairs, and start creating the decent and catchy, crispy, mesmerizing renders right away, without the years of attempts and everything. What you can do, you can choose your path. Basically, you can do whatever you've done before, or you can stop, reboot, and start with us. So if you still have questions, you already know what to do. And right now, I will get back to the questions. Okay. Two previous scenes, streams, crashed my 3ds Max, open them. That means that you need to upload. You need to upgrade your Corona. If it says it crash, mostly, like my guess, is the camera, because I've had same thing with the cameras in the scenes. So what you can do, you can try uploading the tell me. You can try upgrading the Corona till version 13 and open them again. If not, merge unfortunately will also not help you. If that will not help you, let me know, and we will save you the same scene but without camera. But if you will upgrade your Corona, I think everything will be good. That will solve your issues. Will the work be mainly on Corona, and will there be videos for V-Ray? If you mean the course, so the course for the beginners, they are on Corona, so the main renderer will be Corona. But after beginners, you can go to professional visualization like elevating, and there we have more of the render engines, such as V-Ray, such as F-Storm, and maybe we consider a little bit more. About the spotlight, if we use directionally for our light, how can I see that the spotlight shape edge of light in the mirror? Okay, wait, once again. If we use directionality for our light, how can I see that the spotlight shape edge of the... you mean in our scenario? In our case, you mean this one? This is, look, here we have two things. You have the directionality in your spots, in your disk, but also I've used target. So let me show you what target does basically. If you will move up and down target, it will also give you a different reflection and look in the mirror, of course. So let's do this. For example, well, let me move it. So as you see, it's different already here. And what will happen if I'll bring it up, for example? You see, it also different. So this thing is the target position. You can literally place it anywhere. Mostly this thing used for if you have, if you do something like a museum, if you do the common space or a public space, you can use this for the spots of paintings or decoration or sculpture. In our scenario, I put it on the floor because the thing that I need to light up is on the floor. But once again, depending where you put your target, your result and your shape of the light in reflection will also be different. So if you put it, for example, on the toilet, right on the toilet, you will not have anything in your reflection, but you will have a pretty overexposed toilet lid. That's why I didn't do that. If you put it in the corner or on the floor or on the wall or close to the wall, you will see this. So, first thing, we determine how narrow our light's supposed to be. That's a directionality in the lighting settings. And second thing is this target position, which also change a lot, actually. If we see the ceiling, we need to see the source of the light. But if I put directionality, I can't see the source. Ah, that means that's very easy. You create another source. You create another source. I usually just leave the main spots for lighting, and I can even exclude the visibility of the mirror from it. So for example, I understand what you ask. Wait, give me a moment. Not this, I need this. So for example, if you need to see something in your mirror, yeah, I get it. I get it. You have two options. Option number one, you just can create a copy, independent copy with a different direction, and you will see it in the mirror. That's one. Second option, you can simply use light MTL material for the geometry of your spots, and you will see it in the mirror as well. I hope that help you. Okay, give me more questions if you have. Because if you don't have questions, I will leave. And you will not see me next week because we will have a course. What else? What else? Also, I highly recommend you actually using the uh tell me. Tell me, I'll tell you. The layers, the render elements. I can tell you what I usually do, what I usually use. Like what is a must? For me, a must cryptomate, ID, and wire color. That's the things that I also usually do and use. Perfect. Good. Okay. Okay, everyone. Thank you for today. Thank you for your time. I hope this was something not standard, something very small. The final render with a high quality. Yes, of course I can. This is it. This is it with some of the spots. If you, okay, I have to zoom in a lot so you will see that these dots are popped out. I don't know why I did that, but I did that. This is it. This is the final render, a little bit slightly of post-production, but mainly for color corrections. And that's it. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, and hope to see you soon. Have a good day, a good week, and a cool renders. See you next time, and bye bye.